Hello everyone. In this video, we will introduce how to get started with Amazon SageMaker integration with Amazon DataZone to help govern your machine learning projects. My name is Ram Mittal, Principal Machine Learning Specialist and Tech Lead for Machine Learning Governance with Amazon Web Services. My colleague Siamak Nariman, Senior Product Manager for Amazon SageMaker MLOps, will be presenting second half of this video. Here is our agenda. We will start with an overview on how Amazon SageMaker integrates with Amazon DataZone, and then introduce a sample scenario for integration and demo sample scenario implementation for governing your machine learning projects. With this new integration between Amazon SageMaker and Amazon DataZone, you can start to govern your machine learning projects across several pillars. First, infrastructure management. Govern your infrastructure using well-architected blueprints provided by the service that embeds guardrails or preventive controls. Second, business project management. Govern your user permissions, access to tools and data in the context of your business use case. Finally, asset management. Govern your data and ML assets using automated publishing and consuming workflows. With this new integration, you can quickly search, discover, and access your dataset from Business Catalog for building your machine learning project. After building your project, you can publish your model and feature groups into Catalog for sharing with others in your organization and promote reuse. Next, I will introduce you to sample scenario for implementing this integration. Now we will look at a demo for the governing machine learning projects using the SageMaker and DataZone integration. We will use the following scenario for this demo. Any company, a mortgage loan lender, wants to automate loan application process using machine learning models to improve customer experience. First, admin starts by setting users and groups in their identity provider and sync them with IAM Identity Center. Second, they set up a DataZone domain, which is a construct to organize your assets, users, and their projects for a line of business. Third, they set up projects for their use cases. Project is a construct for grouping users, environments, data, and tools with a unified permission model. Next, data engineer Charlie can prepare dataset and publish datasets such as credit card transactions to DataZone Business Catalog. Now, data scientist Alice can subscribe to the dataset and build a fraud detection model for loan application use case. After building the model, they publish it to the Business Catalog for others to consume with subscription terms. Finally, model validator Jackie subscribes to the published models and performs evaluation with third-party dataset in their own evaluation environment. We will start by setting up users and groups in IAM Identity Center. I'm logged into IAM Identity Center and I can set up groups and users in IAM Identity Center, or I can have them synced from your identity provider. So here I have an admin group. I have user Bob in the admin group. I have evaluator Jackie in the group. And data engineer is Charlie, and data scientist group we have Alice and David. So next we will log in as admin Bob and set up DataZone domain. Now I have logged in as machine learning admin Bob into this IDC portal. Bob has already been given permissions to set up DataZone domain in an AWS account. See video description for how to set that up. I click on this permission set link to access that up. Now I have federated as Bob into my assigned account. I'm going to be setting up DataZone domain. So I go to DataZone page and set up the domain, create domain. I provide a name for my domain, description. You can choose to encrypt with your own encryption key. And you have to specify a few service roles, domain execution role. You can choose to use an existing one or create your own. And I'm choosing for setting up for both data consumption and publishing. I need to provide a few permission details such as Glue manage access role, Redshift manage access role, provisioning role, and then provide any optional tags, and then you click on create domain. Now my retail banking line of business domain has been created. I need to do a few more setup. First, you can associate one or more accounts to your domain. So you basically come into this tab and request association. For this demo, I'm going to keep it as one account. And next, you do blueprints. Blueprints is where you enable different types of infrastructure templates For SageMaker integration, you would have to enable default SageMaker blueprint template. By default, it's disabled. Just click on enable, and you can choose to provide a new role or use an existing role. I'm going to choose new role. Again, Glue manage access role, Redshift manage access role. It's inherited from the domain setup. Provisioning role, you can choose to create one new one, and you can choose to have your own S3 bucket to store some of the metadata, or you can use the default bucket. And then you can choose to enable this blueprint for all projects, or you can restrict it to selected projects. I'm going to choose all projects and enable blueprint. Next is user management. I need to enable IAM Identity Center. I just click on this and enable users in IAM Identity Center. I have an option to require assignments where you have to explicitly assign certain users and groups to this domain, or you don't require assignments, where in which case all of the users and groups will be automatically assigned to the domain. I'm going to choose that do not require assignments and hit update domain. Next, we will enable Amazon SageMaker as a trusted service to call Amazon DataZone APIs on your behalf. Just enable and save changes. And now we can navigate to Data Portal and set up projects for our use cases. Now I'm logged into the DataZone data portal, and I can create a project, loan application project, and just create. Now I'm on the loan application project. I can go add members to the project. Just click add members, and I want to add by SSO group, make them the owner of the project. I'm going to add the data scientist Alice and David as project members and owners. Just click add members, and there you see SSO group data scientist is a project member. Now we are going to set up environments for the project. So click environments, create environment profile. Environment profile defines the configuration parameters and resources that are available for the environment. It's basically where you want to deploy your resources that you define in your blueprint. Now I'm going to create the environment profile, provide the environment profile name, description, the owning project. I select the blueprint as default SageMaker. I select the parameter set, enter my own. I select the account, the region, and provide the KMS key ID, VPC ID, and subnet details. Select the domain authentication as SSO and the network access, and then I can select the data source as one of these three options. I select Glue only, authorized by all projects, and then hit environment profile. Now I'm logged into the loan application project data portal as Bob using the SSO role, and I'm going to be creating an environment, SageMaker Studio environment, using the environment profile we created earlier. So I click on environments and click on create environment. I basically provide a name, ML dev environment for loan application, and then I select the environment profile that we created earlier, and optionally you can fill in these parameters, and then you can see that all the environment profile parameters have been picked up from the profile we have created earlier, and then you just hit create environment to create the environment. And that provisions an environment similar to this. You would see analytic tools and you would see loan application ML dev, and then from here you can actually, with a single click, you can navigate to SageMaker Studio. Now we are going to prepare and publish the credit card transactions dataset. I'm logged in as Charlie, data engineer, into the loan data lake project. I have an Athena tool that I have already set up. I'm going to click on that and navigate to the Athena query editor. And here I've prepared a sample dataset for credit card transactions. I'm going to just run that, and that has created this credit card transactions. And I'm going to go see if I can publish that asset to the asset catalog. So I'm going to go into the SageMaker Studio environment. That was an environment I've set up as part of the loan data lake project here. And I'm already connected to the Studio environment. Here you see an assets page. I'm clicking on that. I'm on the loan data lake project assets page. And right now I have created an asset which is the credit card transactions. So it should be in the owned assets tab. And you can see it here. So you can actually, first time on around, you would have to go to the data source and then hit the run button to get that data show up in your project inventory. When I've already done that, you can see it here. And then now let's hop back to the owned assets. I do see credit card transactions as part of my project inventory, right? So you can see here it has actually interrogated the table, and then it produced those columns, data types, and so on. Now from here I can publish it, and when I publish it, I just hit the publish button, and that should publish it to the data catalog. Now I should be able to see that in the assets catalog page. Charlie owns it, so he's able to publish it without any approval. So you can see here it's already showing up in the asset catalog. Now this dataset is available for anybody in the DataZone domain to consume it for their projects. I walked you through steps 1 through 4 in our scenario. Now I will turn it over to my colleague Siamak, who will discuss the machine learning implementation and demo rest of the steps in our scenario.
So far you have seen the admin and data engineer experience. Now I will first demo the data scientist workflow by subscribing to credit card transaction dataset that has been published to the catalog. In this experience, data scientist Alice, who is going to use Charlie's dataset, will build a fraud detection model in the loan application project. And then Jackie, who is the model validator and uses Alice's model to perform model evaluation in the loan validation project. Now, I'm going to begin to demonstrate Alice's experience by logging in as Alice and feather it into SageMaker Studio from Amazon DataZone. As you can see, I'm logged in as Alice and I'm part of the loan application project. And on this view, I can see the project overview and all the associated components with this project. Now on the right hand side, I have my SageMaker Studio, so I go ahead and click on this button and then open Amazon SageMaker to open Studio. Now that Alice has landed on SageMaker Studio, I'm going to show you how she can find the dataset she's looking for to build her fraud detection model. On the left navigation panel, we have a new tab called Assets. This is where she can find the project assets that she can consume to build her model. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Assets. Now we are navigated to Loan Application Projects. In this view, we have 3 separate tabs. Subscribed Assets. These are the set of assets that the project has gotten approval to consume. Own Assets. These are the assets that only belong to project members. And then Asset Catalog is where she can search the business catalog to find the credit card transaction data to build her model. So Alice can use the search bar and type in transaction to look for that data. All the corresponding results will appear in this view. As you can see, the credit card transaction now is appeared for her that she can preview to make sure that this is the right set of data that she can consume for her fraud detection model. So she clicks on credit card transaction. Now she's navigated to assets details page. In this assets details page, she's able to see an overview and all the information associated with this credit card transaction. She's also able to see metadata forms and all the values associated with metadata form. And lastly, schema, all the information related to schema. Before she can go ahead and use this data, she has to request for access. So she's going to go ahead and click subscribe, and she has to provide justification for the asset owner to approve her access so she can go ahead and consume it in her application. So she's going to go ahead and type in, I need this data set to use for my fraud detection model. Please grant me access. And now the asset owner is able to see this request and give her approval so she can use it for her fraud detection model. Now that Alice has gotten approval from the asset owner to consume this credit card transaction data, she's able to see this data set under subscribed assets. For Alice to use this credit card transaction data, she wants to use Jupyter Lab and write queries to consume this data and build her model. So now she's navigated to Jupyter Lab, she's already created a space, and now she clicks on Open to open Jupyter Lab. Now that Alice has landed on Jupyter Lab, she wants to find her subscribed dataset so she can start building her fraud detection model. On the left navigation panel, she can see the Data Discovery button to find her subscribed assets. Once she clicks on this button, in this view, she's able to see all the corresponding connections to her subscribed datasets as part of the loan application project. Because the credit card transaction dataset was a glue table, she now has an Athena connection in this view. So she clicks on the Athena connection, she expands on the data catalog, and now she's able to see the loan application project subscription database. Under the sub-DB, she can now see the credit card transaction data. She clicks on Query in Notebook, and now she's able to see the data set in this notebook and query the data set to train and build a model in SageMaker Model Registry. Once Alice finished her model building with the credit card transaction subscribed dataset, she built and registered the fraud detection model in SageMaker Model Registry. So she comes back to Studio and she navigates to Models to find her fraud detection model. So she clicks on the fraud detection model, she checks to make sure that everything looks okay, and now she has two options. She can publish the model to Project Inventory, where the only project members can access this model. Or she can publish to Asset Catalog, where everybody in the domain can see her model. At this point, she feels pretty good about the model, so she decides to publish to the catalog, so Jackie, the model validator, can use this as part of the loan validation project. So she clicks on Publish to Asset Catalog, and now the model is published to the Asset Catalog. After Alice publishes the fraud detection model, she decides that she wants to build extra models to improve the accuracy of the loan application process. So now this time, she wants to use Canvas to use the credit card transaction subscribed dataset to build a new model called Credit Card Risk Model. So now she navigates to Canvas, she clicks on Open Canvas to open the application. Once Alice has landed on Canvas, on the left navigation panel, she's able to find Data Wrangler. So she clicks on Data Wrangler, and in this view, she can create a new data flow for the credit card risk model that she's trying to build. So she clicks on Credit Card Risk Model, and now she can create a new data flow name, Credit Card Risk Model. And she clicks Create. Now she wants to import the data so she can start her data exploration. She clicks on Import Data, clicks on Tabular, and now because the credit card transaction data was a glue type, she goes and clicks on Athena connection, and now under the Athena connection, she's able to find the loan application project and the subscription database, so now she can find the credit card transaction data. Under the credit card transaction data, she can drag and drop, and now she can write a query to edit all of these data in SQL. And once she's satisfied with the data, she can go ahead and click Import Data, give it a name, and click on Import. And now, once the data is imported, she can create a model out of all of these data set and register that back to SageMaker Model Registry. After Alice finishes her data experimentation, she built a model on Canvas. When she navigates to My Model, she's able to see the credit card risk model that she just built. So she clicks on the model, and now she's able to register this model in SageMaker Model Registry. So she clicks on these three dots, she clicks on Add to Model Registry, and now she can give it a new name or use the existing name and simply click on Add. And now the model is registered in SageMaker Model Registry now that she can publish back to the data catalog. Now I'm logged in as Jackie, the model evaluator, as part of the loan validation project. I want to use Alice's fraud detection model to perform validation and make sure that is the best candidate model for production. So now I'm logged in as Jackie, and I'm part of the loan validation project. Now I can see all the project overview here. On the right hand side under Analytics, I have my SageMaker Studio that I will click on so I can start my journey to search for the model. I'm back in SageMaker Studio and I navigate to Assets page to find the model. On the left navigation side, I'm able to see the Assets page. So let's click on that and I can see that I'm part of the loan validation project. In order to find the fraud detection model, I go and click on Asset Catalog and then start my searching journey to find the fraud detection model. So I'll go and search fraud and click on search, and I'm able to see the fraud detection group that Alice just published as part of this business data catalog. So I just click on that and I'm able to see an overview of the fraud detection model, all the attributes associated with this before I can go ahead and click subscribe. So in order for me to get access to this model, I'll go ahead and provide justification to make sure that Alice can grant me access so I can use this model for production. I need this model for evaluation purposes. So I go ahead and click submit. And once I have access to this model, I'm able to use this model and deploy this in production and finish our use case. In conclusion, in this demo, we covered an end-to-end integration of Amazon SageMaker and Amazon DataZone. We were able to demo how to set up your infrastructure controls and permissions and add users to your ML projects. We also showed how different users can gain access and share data and ML assets across the organization so that the members can consume those assets in their own ML use case. With this integration, you can streamline ML and data governance across ML projects, making it easier for your organizations to govern access to machine learning infrastructure, data, and ML assets. Thank you.